Dear all, the speaker is just joining us. Thank you for waiting so much. In a minute, we are just starting this one. Good morning, participants. The speaker has joined us. I understand it has been a long wait, but thank you so much for waiting patiently. And to all of those who had joined minutes earlier, thank you so much for your patience. As you understand, the virtual medium has its own challenges, but overcoming those challenges are the most important part of any event that we conduct. That note, let me start off with the session without no further delay. So once again, I am Juweria. I will be the host for these outcome-based education week from 25th July to the 31st. You would be seeing me and many other hosts hosting these events. I would like to welcome you all to the first session of the week, the Faculty Development Program on Outcome-Based Education, organized by the Institute for Engineering Research and Publication, IFERP, in association with United Innovators, Asia Pacific Association for Dental and Oral Health, Krishna Institute of Dental Sciences, and New Horizon College of Engineering. To talk a few words about our organizers for this wonderful Faculty Development Week, I would like to request the participants to please be on mute. Thank you. So talking about IFERP, the Institute for Engineering Research and Publication is on its way to digitize innovation processes through our professional networking services and thus providing an integrated virtual scientific community, mutual engagement, exploring potential of researchers, creating a cooperative and collaborative academic environment. IFERP supports the professional growth of its members by providing opportunities for professional networking, lifelong learning, and career development by organizing scientific conferences, faculty development programs, workshops, webinars, book chapters, seed fundings, chapters, special interest groups, research publications, membership, industry institute interaction, etc. To talk a few words about the upcoming events that are organized by IFERP, the International Conference on Exploring Colossal Technological Advances of the 21st Century in Science, Engineering and Technology, ICE CTA CESCT 2022, organized by IFERP on the 13th and 14th of August in Abu Dhabi 2022. The Asia Pacific Conference on Education, Research, Social Sciences and Humanities, organized by IFERP on the 7th and 8th September at Bangkok. IFERP International Conference on the Future of Engineering, ICFE, organized by IFERP on the 22nd and 23rd of September 2022 at Manila, Philippines. We will be posting these conference website links at the end of the session for you to go through on your own. Talking about our research partner, the United Innovators. United Innovators is a research and development service provider providing all the end-to-end services such as thesis writing, research article writing with Scopus, SCI, Web of Science, journal publications, research proposal, and patent filing assistance to the scholars, academicians, faculties, students, universities, industrial experts, etc. Being the pioneers in this scenario, our technical professional members have the ability to deliver the best for your academic papers in a most proficient manner. Now, talking about our academic partners for this event is Krishna Institute of Dental Science is located in Western Maharashtra. The School of Dental Sciences was started with the approval of the Dental Council of India in the year 2006. The institution aims to address the dental care needs of the community while providing the best dental education and comprehensive hands-on training to its students. As a social responsibility, it also carries out the oral health awareness programs and diagnostic camps in surrounding villages. Talking about the New Horizon College of Engineering, is an autonomous college affiliated to the Visvesvaraya Technological Institute approved by the All India Council for Technical Education and University Grants Commission. It is accredited by the NAC with A grade and National Board of Accreditation NBA. It is located in the heart of the IT capital of India, Bangalore. Coming to the crux of the session, the FTP outcome based education is a student centric teaching and learning methodology in which the course delivery assessment are planned to achieve stated objectives and outcomes. It focuses on measuring performance, that is, outcomes at different levels. Outcome based education is a system where all the parts and aspects of education are focused on the outcomes of the course. The students take up courses with a certain goal of developing skills or gaining knowledge, and they have to complete the goal by the end of the course. Some of the important aspects of outcome based education are course outcomes, program outcomes, program educational objectives, program specific outcomes, graduate attributes. The objective of this FTP is to nurture the philosophy of outcome based education and to build the capacity of young faculty members, heads of departments, principals, so as to facilitate its institutionalization in the teaching learning system. Some of the benefits of outcome based education are it brings clarity among the students and teachers. Every student has the flexibility and freedom of learning in their ways. There is more than one method of learning. It reduces comparison among the students as everyone has a different target. It completely involves students taking responsibility for their goals. This FTP program will be a week long and it has 14 sessions with 2 sessions per day. And on 28th July of 2022, we have 3 sessions with 14 eminent speakers. Now, coming to today's session. For our first session, we have the esteemed Dr. Mostafa Khaireldin Ewees to take the spotlight. Let me give you a small introduction about him. He is a senior professor at the American University in Cairo. He started his career as a researcher, methodology, and lecturer in the field of psychology. And he has a long history of interaction with education and educational psychology. He has a profound impact on how issues of learning have been framed and studied in educational context. He has 18 years of experience in the academia. Now, without further ado, let me call upon Dr. Mostafa Khaireldin Ewees to deliver his keynote. So, doctor, let me just give you the host access. Let me give you. You're on mute, sir.
Okay, can you hear me right now?
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, all right. First of all, I need to welcome for everybody, and it's my pleasure to present. This is not the first time. This is going to be the third or the second time. I can't remember exactly because there is a lot of many conferences I'm just giving to you. But about your association, it's really delightful, and I have a kind of gifting so far that I have couple of potential with this year, with this university and with other association. I don't want to just make too much in just going through stuff. It's not compatible to what we're going to talk about, but just I need to, if we can start my keynote. Ms. Fatima, do you have my keynote? I just sent it to one of the association because I don't know. I need to go through thing automatically. Just a sec, please. I'm sorry. Fatima,
Yes, sir.
uh, I just sent my key now because I have the same problem like previous thing.
Okay.
If you can, all right, okay.
So you
Because
would
I don't
like
want
us
to.
to share it from our side,
Yeah,
sir?
yes, yeah, indeed, indeed, indeed.
All right. Just give
Is
me a
there?
minute, sir.
No problem. Sorry for my delay. Sorry for our kind of connection. You know, the internet connection for the whole world, not over here. We have a couple of problems. Even it's happening the same thing in states for the whole states right now because you know, kind of what's happening economically. It's making a couple of disaster things over here. Okay.
So just a few seconds, sir. The PPT is
No
just coming
problem,
up.
no problem, no problem. Sorry again for all gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, for my delaying or for any kind of delaying. I'm really sorry for that. I hope everybody's doing fine with a good health, stemming from a lot of diseases, especially corona stuff and other diseases. And I hope everybody doing great for the economical issue that we have. Okay,
Doctor,
sounds
we
good for
have
me. All
the
right.
PPT
Yeah,
up for you.
yeah. This is the first slide. This then we can pass it. Okay, my title. Okay, before it, please. Okay, this is the title we're going to talk about it, the significance of the student engagement. Means here that we're going to talk about um, specifically, we're going to talk about the engagement or the what kind of the social interaction is engaging with the from the professors to the students or to the students to the professors or even the instructors. Please, second slide. Okay. A lot of people they have a lot of definitions for student learning outcomes. All right. First of all, you have to analyze yourself or to understand to be reasonable so far. What's the student doing, and what kind of the job description for the student? Because it depends about the culture, races. It depends about the kind of the program. Okay, and it depends about how you're going to apply or just convince him about the learning progress. Okay, if we're going to talk about the student learning outcomes, we're going to talk about the courses or the course outcomes compatible to the students. And it depends about the program, it depends about the culture, and it depends about what kind of the quality of the instructors or the professors or the teachers, how he's going to make the transaction or the info to the students, because this is the learning progressing or the what kind of the sometimes they call it the journey between the students and teachers. The course programs outcomes here, it's give you how you're going to do kind of challenging, how you're going to do kind of social interaction, kind of intervention with the students, even if you're going to follow a curriculum, if you're going to say you what kind of the language you're going to use, your phrases, the words, the linguistics, the discourse analysis, because the way that you're going to say a couple of tools like those things, even with your technology or without technology, okay, how you're going to convince them about something, about the program or about the course. In the same time, the way that you're going to review related to the learning progressing, okay, that you're going to watch their faces, their face expression, their bodies, the biomechanical, their hands, the stuff like that. You're going to give you going kind of potential, or is a learning or not. Okay, because if you're going to feel there is something wrong, you have to change the routine of your teaching methodology. This is the reviewing program, okay, and related to your learning progressing and what kind of the engagement you're going to do. If you have those varieties or the categorized varieties during your teaching as an instructor or professor or teacher, and you're going through the learning progressing related to the way that you're going to engage with your students, okay, okay, After that, okay, you have to make sure that your program, okay, and the results of the program, the reaction of the students, it's part of your reporting because they are enjoyable, they are boring, they are interesting, they love it, they don't like it, they need to change it, they need to upgrade it, because the way that you're going to give them kind of concentration to tell them, what do you think about that? Tell me your point of view. What kind of a perspective point of view you're going to say that? Here, you're trying to, the engagement, you're trying to enhance their characteristics related how you're going to activate their scientific thinking, logical thinking, and their philosophical thinking. This is the circle, give you kind of the student achievement related to the program outcomes, going through the reviewing and what kind of the engagement and learning progressing with your students. At the same time, it's going to be global because I'm going to use my experience, your experience. We can add a couple of things, make it very simplified for the students, very entertaining so far, and we're going to feel their student achievement so far. Second slide, please. Okay. Behavior. This word is very dynamic and it's very, very iconic in the same time. Because the way that you're going to behave, the way that they're going to focus about your reaction and the way how you behave with them. All right. And it depends about the culture, it depends about the tradition, it depends about what kind of the school programs ruling looks so far, even the university in the same time. Okay, because the way you're going to behave, the way they're going to test you. Okay, if we're going to go through this chart, we're going to talk about how you value are, how you throw the phrases related to your linguistics and related to your language, and you're trying to add a couple of jokes like to entertain them, all right, and to make it kind of like a storyboarding or storytelling or like a novel or prosing poetry stuff like that, and the way that you're saying that, the way that you're trying to enjoy and tell them about something is really interesting for themselves. They trying to listen to you, and after that they're going to analyze you. After these analyzing, it depends about what kind of your value are, how you're going to event that, and you're going to use your thoughts and your action and your sensation and your feelings with the short terms or long terms. Okay, your outcoming is going to be like volcanoes or like the mountains or like a lot of something is really interesting so far. Okay, in the same time they're going to start to love you. Okay, because you try to feel them related to your behavior and related to your attitude. And they are going to try to imitate you or they're going to, yeah, and you're going to give them their spaces to analyze, to explain, to activate their feelings or emotions related to your characteristics, which you're trying to do something is really positive. And if you are going to be one day an aggressive, don't show them that and try to hold your horses or try to control yourself to make your positivity as an iconic thing because you're trying to do kind of engagement to let them get a good learning outcome so far. Third, third slide, please. Okay, we have a couple of tools here. Like I don't want to say it's as a manual, but first of all, it's essentially social skills. Without those things, the way that you're going to interact and the way that you're going to use your intervention, it's not going to be very strong and very dynamic and very activated. Okay, means if let's start with a very simple. When I'm going to talk to you face to face, it's different to send you an email to give your interaction. Because the way I'm going to see my eye contact for a reaction or I'm trying to tell you something, Okay, it's going to be very clarified and clean. Okay, in the same time you're throwing a straightforward something, in the same time you're being so carefully, or you're trying to deliver a message related to your eye contact. Sometimes you can react with the people, okay, and you can react with a lot with your students related to your eye contact, like, yes, it's nice. Yes, so far it depends about that. Face expression, it's very important, using your eye contact at the same time. The way that you're going to use your body language, and it depends about your moving, about your hands and your arms. This is very important because you're trying to give him kind of attention. You're trying to give him kind of attraction, because the way that you're going to do that, and you're looking their faces and you're trying to prove something, you're trying to drop kind of info, explaining, analyzing the diagram, chart, whatever, what you're going to do and what kind of you're trying to tell them. Okay, the eye contact, the body language, and even the biomechanical, and the way that you're going to use your arms and your hands, you're trying to deliver a very strong message to them, because they want to you want to give it kind of they're feeling what you're saying. At the same time, you're empowering them, and you put them on the right track, because when they start to not to analyze, to explain, and to analyze, to enhance, they're going to do something like some people, or some professors, some doctors, some instructors, some teachers. They are trying to explain using their very dynamically and using their aggression and very aggressively behavior. It's bad. Sometimes it's bad. Sometimes it's good. But you're excited. You are doing something. You're trying to deliver the message as it is, not as it is. No, you're using you're activating your feelings and your emotion. You're trying to deliver something to them. Okay, and it's going to be very essentially their intervention between you and them. It's going to be not as a family, but it's something. It's iconical. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm enjoying my teaching more than 30 years with my different culture, with my different students abroad around the world, doing different things, changing, entertaining me and entertaining them. And we're trying to collect our each other as a family. It's lovely, sounds amazing, but you have to attach, or you have to have the to be gifted when you teach something, when you deliver something, when you explain, or when you analyze something. When you do those progressing or categorize progressing, you are going to put yourself a couple of channels, like yes sir, ethically, it's going to deliver ethically. Yes sir, I want to do something like that. Excuse me sir, excuse me teacher, excuse me miss, excuse me doctor, excuse me professor. The way that you're going to use your behavior to be ethical, at the same time it's you're pressing the channel. It means that you're trying to organize yourself, and you're trying to categorize the way that you're going to categorize, the way that you how you're enhancing your linguistics, your discourse analysis, and the way that you're going to use your simple phonetics, your phonology, your morphology. Phonology, it's the study of the word. Phonology, it's the study of the sentence. And this is very important so far at the same time. To be flexible, it's important, but not all the time, because people or students, they're not going to understand flexibility means that you want to put your catalog, you're putting your ruling program on the classroom, either in the or auditorium or the lecture room, inside as a first time you're explaining, you're talking about yourself as a kind of resume or a kind of biography. Then you're going to throw the courses, what kind of the courses is, what's the mission and the vision about the courses. Then you're going to see the reaction. It depends on the reaction. You're going to activate your flexibility, and depends about that. Some of the students, they're going to be very tough, or they reacted, they don't care. You have to give them attention. You have to give them kind of a very selectable attention, because those those students, they are really smart and they're really intelligent and genius, and you have to give them their spaces very much. Kind of or accepting the criticism. Criticism here, you have two kind of criticism over here. You have the language with a very fluffy and a very, I don't want to say a very kind of phrases. It's not clarified, or it's very much nobody's going to understand this language. And other, it's straightforward about the criticism that I don't like the way that you're teaching us. I don't like the way that you're blah blah blah, stuff like that. When you start to open the discussion with your students, and the way that you're going to explain or accepting their criticism, okay, and you're trying to motivate them, put them in the right track using your eye contact, your body language, and the way that you're going to be not aggressive as a negative, not aggressive as a positive behavior, okay, and show them your your channels, and the way that you're going to be flexible, and you care about their feelings, your emotion, and you're going to accept their criticism like that, using all the categories that previously what I said, they're going to open the door for you. Like what you're doing precisely when you go to anyone and trying to visit them. You're trying to do what? You're trying to knock the door. When you knock the door, they're going to open the door for you. They're going to give you a chance who you are, because you are giving their prestigious about their behavior and their feelings. You're trying to respect what they have and what they need, and you like to listen, and you like to listen to them, and you like to give them their spaces, which is very important. Okay, to be positive always, it's important, but sometimes you can be using your aggression, or you're going to be using part of your to be aggressive about your behavior as a message, as an iconic message. Okay, like someone did something wrong and you trying to prove, you're not going to mention his name in the front of his colleague or the students, but you're trying to say something. It's this thing, it's hurting you, it's hurting your feelings. When I give you your space, okay, you have to give me my space. When I give you what you want, okay, the opposite, that you have to give me what I want. Okay, what I'm asking, kind of appreciation. This appreciation, it's like that, like that, like that. You're the one, you're going to do your kind of your judgment. Okay, all what I'm saying right now, what I mentioned, the eye contact, the body language, the aggression, the channels, the be flexible, the criticism, even to be positive always. Okay, it's the most important big sector. What kind of the engagement about the learning, progressing with the students to let them getting outcomes, a positive outcomes, and it depends about that. Teachable here means that trying you are trying to be teachable. Teachable here, that you are trying to, when you teach them something, they will never forget it. When you start to teach or saying a couple of words, I'm listening. Okay, when I'm going to teach or say a couple of words using my biomechanical or my body language, interesting so far. Okay, when I go and start to say or I'm trying to deliver something is really important, and using my pitch, the vocal cords make my linguistics so high, go down, so high, go down, like a curving. Okay, and I'm steering and using my eye contact and the same time my hands and my body language. I'm trying to let them attract me, love me so far, activated my feelings, my emotion, and trying to enhance them about a couple of certain things related to their futures. Okay, I'm trying to using my teaching as a teachable to imitate me. They like me, they love me, they're trying to enjoy. We are talking with each other as a family. That's you're supposed to be a teachable, and it's something related to your routine every day, even every week or every month or every year. You have to upgrade, and you have to teach yourself how you're going to upgrade about your routine, especially the way that you're going to teach your methodology. Because the way that you're going to upgrade your teaching methodology, the way that you're going to enhance them, at the same time you're going to feel kind of achievement. You're seeing your productions going up and going so big and huge, which it's going to empower you as a teacher, as a professor, as a doctor, that you're going to enhance yourself, to upgrade yourself, to modify yourself, something like that. All what we said, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When you do all these categorized things, you're going to show them respect. You're going to show the respect. In the same time, you're going to uh, not activate, but you're going to give them kind of feelings, not kind of feelings, full of feelings, all right, that you are a human being. All right. Next, next chart, please. All right. All right. This chart is very interesting so far. If you're going through it, it's give you kind of it's the learning progressing that you're learning, you're receiving, you're seeing, you're analyzing, you like it, you don't like it. We can update it. We can enhance it. We can listen to other people. We can read it. We can search it. We can. The learning progressing here, it's full of a lot of people as a human beings. And the machines here, it's going to be a very important tool to give you accessibility for any kind of information. Even this information is going to be with data, diagrams, charts, photos, pictures, stuff like that, or experimental things. Because the way you're going through these things, or the way that you keep learning, the way that you're doing that, the way that you keep learning. Okay, and in the same time learning, it's part of your practicing, because if you're going to keep learning, or you're putting yourself full of learning roading, or you're learning progressing so far, you keep enhancing and upgrading yourself automatically, or with the other tools. The simple question here, do what to do when I made a mistake? For sure, we are keep making a couple of mistakes. Even this mistake, it's going to be like we mean it, and others we don't mean it. Okay, mistake here, it's a huge big word, which I believe when you're going to make a mistake, you're going to learn from your mistakes. And the way that you're going to avoiding a lot of things, because you don't like to repeat, and sometimes you can repeat your mistakes, okay, but it depends on how you're going to repeat it. Now you're not going to repeat it as it is, like before or like previously. Okay, you're going to be watching yourself, because you're doing this by yourself before you're going to help, or showing the service to the people, even to your students, to the other people, stuff like that. Okay, and you have to understand this very well. Okay, because it's in engagement. In the same time, you're trying to select what kind of the social interaction or the intervention with your students. When you're going to teachers, when I start to teach my students in Egypt, for the international schools, as a principal, or for a freshman, senior, or even junior high, or even the university, or in the schooling, I discovered what they taught me in the state. It's completely different. Okay, that I'm not going to use the curriculum as it is. I have to go there through their feelings. I have to understand their feelings, their emotion, and I have to go through their behavior. I have to go watch what I'm saying, because what I said, a word or even a sentence, I have to be careful, and it depends about what kind of the tone about my word or about my sentence. Okay, because a little mistake, what I'm going to do, and I did a lot of mistakes when I started to do my journey teaching, especially in Egypt or Middle East. All right, there's a lot of students, they didn't accept what I'm saying or what I'm behaving, what I'm telling them, what I'm doing, even what kind of the curriculum is. I have to study the way they behave because it's giving me empowering and change the way that I'm going to use my attitude. And it depends how I'm going to pronounce the word, the sentence, and how I'm going to say it in the right time and the right place. I learned. I learned from my mistakes. Mistakes is very important for the teachers, professors, doctors, because this is the part. It's your engine. You're going to upgrade yourself when you, especially dealing and interventing with your students. This is very important, by the way. Second slide, please. Okay. This part is very extremely significant, very important. The psychological factors, especially with students. All right. And the most important factor over here, the psychological factor for the students. Not all the students, they are the same. Okay. When you're trying to interact with them, even in individuality or even in you're trying to interact with them, it depends about what kind of the community or the races or even the culture or even what kind of the school name is. It's important because the way that you're going to say good morning, it's different to say good morning. It's different to say salam alaikum. It's different to say bonsoir. Let's say it's saying guten tag. It's a language. And at the same time, you are the person, you're controlling the language. You are the person, you're controlling the way that you're going to activate your linguistics. Your the way that you're going to use or you're going to be careful when you're going to say a word related to the way you're going to say your discourse analysis. Okay, discourse analysis is the most important factor in the linguistics. That when you deal with someone, you're going to use not part. You're going to use more than 75 or 85% about your psychological behavior. Okay, and you have to watch that. Let's talk for the first part, the psychological anger. Okay, about we talk about the mistakes before the previous slide. All right, and about sometimes you have a kind of fear that you don't like to repeat the same mistake as it is. Okay, and if you're going to repeat it, you're not going to repeat it as it is, but you have the fear to avoid to you're going to make a mistake. Okay, means that you're caring. Okay, and your psychological feeling related to your feelings or emotion, you care about those people and you're trying to deliver them a message, and you before you're going to deliver a message, you care about their feelings or emotion, and you're trying to put yourself a kind of appreciation on it. Excuse me.
Can the participant please mute yourselves? I'm sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay, you want me to continue?
Yes, sir. Please continue.
Okay, all right. All right. We talk about the fearing of and many mistakes here about that I'm just telling you, when you do something or anyone doing any kind of something, especially when they're going to deal with students, right? They're really a little bit, even for me, if I'm going to talk with myself as a professor, okay, when I deal with my students, I have to be a little bit fear. I don't want to make any kind of mistake, even my word, my behaving, the way I'm using my attitude. I'm trying to deliver a thing because I care about their feelings before I'm going to drop something to them, like info or information or curriculum, stuff like that, or using their books, stuff like that. Because their face expression or the way they react to me face to face, it's important because I'm judging myself and I'm trying to put myself on the right track to tell them we can do that, we can change it, we can do something is really interesting, giving kind of entertainment so far about the learning engagement so far over here. Let's talk about blaming others over here, if not to blame them or to do something that you're going to No, what you did totally wrong. You have to repeat it. No, it's a reaction. It's an attitude. You have to be careful because their students' behavior, it's very sensitive, and it's you have to let them go up or go down. It depends about your reaction. Means the blaming over here. You have to be carefully when you say a word, a sentence. Yeah, your sensitivity is very blummy so far over here. And this is the reason I'm telling you the psychological factor. It's the most important thing when you're going to say something, you're trying to deliver something. Less likely to share different views. You have to give them their space when they go. You're when you see something, it's not uh, quietly going through so far the classroom or the tutorial, the lecture room, or right. You're going to tell them, what do you think about what I said? Do you feel that what I mentioned or related to what about the course name, blah 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 blah. It's interesting, or we can change, okay, and give them their space. What do you think about that? Okay, give them try to let them activate their logical thinking, their philosophical thinking, their even their scientific thinking. It's very important, by the way. It's very easy to deliver them something like that, okay, and you have to enhance them about their knowledge. Means they go and through the searching, reading, listening, going through the library stuff, seeing other people, stuff like that. Acknowledgement, it's very important. By the way, let's go to the other or the final psychological. There's going to be psychological safety. The way that you're going to protect them, you care about them, you love them, you give them their space, means that you care about their psychological factor, especially their feelings or emotion. Because if you care about them and you put them in the right track, in the right place, and you keep coaching them, you're going to do a big, huge, iconic work you would never expect it, even themselves. Okay, themselves at the same time. To be a comfort at many mistakes, learning from their future, or learning from what he did, even from the teacher, from the professor, the atmosphere, the community, the culture, stuff like that. And everyone's going to share because they start to be one family, one hand. They can do a lot of things, even like a project, seminars, workshop, stuff like that. You're trying to enhance them. They can do something. Okay. Me alone, so far, me and you, we can do something really interesting. Me and you, when we have the third member, fourth, fifth members, we're going to be empowered. We're going to do something that's outstanding. This is them telling you psychological factor. It's the most iconical and important and significant thing for any kind of intervention, even lower grades, higher grades, universities, stuff like that. Okay, please, next slide. Okay, we have different, and here we're going to talk about fundamental engagement about the culture. Culture is very important. Yes, it is. For me, if I'm going to talk about my part of my experience and part of my biography so far, when I start to show up in Egypt, everybody, a lot of people, they start to criticize me like a hell. I start to analyze the way they talk, the way they behave, the way they doing couple of kind of requesting, couple of how they doing couple of uh, melody things, like they're requesting, excuse me, thank you, blessing you, really stuff like that. It's different from other from states so far, or from Europe. Okay, uh, I start to analyze and I start to study to imitate them, as it not as it is, but using my feelings, my emotion, my characteristics. Okay, in the same time, I start to implement it, develop it. It's important. Yeah, it's important. Okay, because when you're going to see a different culture, you don't know it, you don't have any kind of background, you can hear it as a reputation, as a country, as a culture, as a stuff like that, tradition, but you don't know what's going on for the inside the kitchen. Okay, what we see. Okay, you see a visitor consulting stuff like that, organization charts, physical things. All right. It's give your reaction for your behavior. Yes, it's going to react to your behavior. Even this behavior is going to be negative or positive. Okay, but even if you are a teacher or a professor or a doctor or instructor, you have to be careful. You have to train your students, even if they have a negative behavior reaction. How are you going to do the transaction between the negative and the positive? Means here, their reaction is negative. Their behavior is negative. Okay, what are we going to do? You're trying to instruct them, not to teach them, okay, to convert it from negative to the positive. That's enough? No, that's not enough. You have to give him their space. And after he's going to convert it from the negative to the positive, you're going to teach him and instruct him how he's going to implement it or develop it. Why? Because this is part of his characteristics, part of his character. He's going to feel himself that he's doing something. This is the fundamental elements inside the culture over here. All right. In the same time, you're going to tell them, and you're trying, or indirectly or directly, what they say, because the way they say every word, even you're kidding, they're having fun, they're aggressive, they're happy, they're surprising, they're crying, they do what kind of their action is. It's going to be something is really important, an indication for you as a teacher, as a professor, as a doctor, as an instructor. Why? Because this is going to give you a kind of keys, how you're going to start, how you're going to enhance, how you're going to make sure they are going to be in the right track, how you're going to do kind of abomination entertainment, like a celebrity or a party or something enjoyable with them. Okay, this is the fundamental enjoyable culture engagement. This is important. You have to listen. You have to feel what they say. Okay, culture, it's the most important factor on the fundamental engagement with your students. Next slide, please. Okay, I'm sorry, I have a couple of joke or I don't know, I put this joke, but I feel you have to teach them. If he's going to challenge himself, he's going to upgrade himself, you have to give him a kind of entertainment or a joke or having fun with him, because this is give him his space. This is give him you're upgrading his mental processor so far. You're let him you give him his independency as a human. Okay, like Roland, he said, don't tell people what you are going to do. Yeah, this is true. Don't tell them. Try to surprise them. Do it and shock them. Shock them here means surprise them. Give them something they will never expect it. And after shocking them, stay silent. Why stay silent? Stay with a different mood. Change your mood. Means here you start with your first chapter before you're going to before you're going to go to the next chapter. Stay calm, stay silent. Move on your next project. Project Mir, do the next move. Okay, and keep on shocking them, enjoy them. Let them enjoy it. When you do something like that, if we're going to the words and we're going to read each other to analyze the words and the sentence over here, you're trying, I'm telling you here a message. Try to feel your student. Try to hug him. Try to do give him a very good space. Okay, because the way that you're going to love him, the way they go and they're going to do a lot of things, especially they're going to do a lot of things outstanding for you. They're going to make you happy and prince. Believe me. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. Thank you very much. We'll appreciate it. I hope you like my keynote, and it's part of my journey. And if you have any kind of questioning, I'm here for you, even by emailing right now, later, so far. Thank you very much. We'll appreciate it. And thanks for the conference team. It's really lovely, very organized, and I hope to see you very soon. I'm waiting for any kind of question. Thanks again.
If the participants have any questions, you could always post it in the chat box or you could ask. So we have a question from Ms. Suchitra. She's raised her hand.
Um, Good day to you, sir.
Yeah, that's my honor. Okay, welcome.
It has been a very informative presentation, especially I like the part where you asked the teacher to be teachable, because I guess that is something nobody tells us, that a teacher has to be teachable, because we are just told to cater to the needs of the administration and then give the students the curriculum, not just, we are not told to concentrate on developing ourselves, giving ourselves time to grow, and also how that reflects on how we are teaching the students, right? This is not usually talked about, that a teacher has to be balanced herself before we go into a classroom and start teaching, because whatever moods that we have, they shouldn't reflect in our teaching, because that will definitely affect the way we are teaching, right?
Precisely. Yeah, precisely.
So whatever you said was very good, but what do you think about common rules and regulations where, like you said, there are a lot of cultural differences between different countries. When it comes to United States, there is one kind of teaching methodology, and whatever we are teaching in India, it's like completely different from what it's been been like there. Do you think that we should follow some common method of teaching, or should we cater to the cultural differences and teach the students accordingly?
Well, it depends about teacher's behavior. Depends about the professor or the doctor behavior. Means here, let me be specific about something over here. It's a good question, by the way, a very strong question. If I want to talk about myself, when I born in States, I live in States all of my life, okay? And when I started to show up in Egypt or a couple of countries like in the Middle East, like Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, stuff like that, okay? It's the Middle East, it's different. They have a similar culture, but they are different for a couple of their behaviors, especially when you're going to deal with the students, especially when you're trying to deliver a couple of information to the students. Because before you're going to do your mission as a teaching methodology, or you're trying to deliver and teach them something, you have to adopt them. You have to understand their feelings, their emotion. The space of understandable between the feelings and emotion and their behavior, stuff like that, it's not, I'm trying to get you a very simple thing. They don't have time for that. Okay? They don't have like space for that. Not for the students, no, for the teachers. Okay? And at the same time, the way he's doing his job as it is, as it related to the contract, the job description, stuff like that. But he's supposed to go through the following the rules of the school or the association or this university or the college or whatever, what kind of educational association so far. But at the same time, he doesn't have time to give him a space to let him engage, all right, with the teachers or with the students, to be one family, feel them, trying to correct them, put them on the right track, stuff like that, because it's a psychological thing. It's a very psychological factor. which I believe any kind of teacher, any kind of professor, doctor, instructor around the world, you have to understand the psychological factor for the students, because this is very important to enhance them and put on the right track before he's going to deliver any kind of information or any kind of data or what kind of the curriculum he's going to use. This is the problem for other people in their cultures. They're not understanding. I don't want to say they're not understanding. They are not using this tool, which I believe this tool is very iconic and very important. You know, the first times, all right, when I show up and what I mentioned in the first keynote, all right, in Egypt, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, I was facing a serious problem, serious problem, because this issue, the culture in the States different from Middle East. Okay, I was using the same. I change it. I train myself. I did a couple of rules I created with myself after I did a lot of mistakes. After I did a lot of huge mistakes, believe me, I changed the whole standards, categorized standards, how to treat the students, how to go through the culture, how to knock the door before I'm going to say anything, even good morning. You got it? Ma'am?
Sorry, sir, I was muted. So yeah, no, I really get that. You have explained it wonderfully and beautifully. So yeah.
Thank you very much.
And just a little bit more, I just wanted to say that you have talked about aggression, right? Many teachers confuse aggression with being strict. You know, they think that only by being aggressive they can make the student more organized and more disciplined. Yes.
Precisely,
so,
yeah.
Yes. So, can you give us a few tips as to how to be strict but not aggressive? Because it's like most teachers, they just either show aggression through body language or by shouting at them. So can you give us a few tips regarding that?
Okay, sounds very simple. Okay, we saw a lot of movies or a couple of situations related to our experience. Okay, there's a very popular word. My mom, she was telling me then when I was like 5 or 6, don't you dare to do something like that, or I'm going to put you, or you're going to be grounded. Okay, that's what they raised on it. Okay, but you can say it was different. Using your face expression and eye contact or your body language, dude, like you're talking with the students or one of the students, right? And don't talk to the student from their colleagues or from their friends, because you have to protect and respect his feelings. Okay,
Yes.
It's going to be between you and him. That's very important, by the way. It's very sensitive, because this is enhancing when he's going to grow up. He's going to be strong, or he's going to be weak, or he's going to be scared.
Yes.
Because this is a psychological factor. But
Yes.
you can change it and entertain it or create it by yourself. It depends how you're going to deliver it. Excuse me, ma'am, or excuse, like the name, like John or George or Edward or George. Why are you doing that? Okay, the way what you say, why are you doing that? Okay, you're aggression.
Oh.
You're aggressive. Okay. Okay. In the same time, can you see my face? Why are you doing that? Please stop doing this. I care about you. I want you to be better more than me. If you can see my hands, my face expression, the way I'm moving my head, okay,
Yes.
I'm aggressive. In the same time, I'm caring about him.
Yes.
Okay, and when you deliver a message, not wording every time, because I don't want you to be routine, using your routine or to be routine-ish. No, you have to upgrade it. Like send him a message, write him like a piece of paper, and put him in his desk. You're the best. Okay, he did a good thing. I love you. I love it. Do it, please, again. Okay, surprise him with the candy or with a toy or something he's related to, he loved it in his related to his characteristics.
Yes.
Like he's playing music, give him like a small guitar, like a decoration. Okay,
Yeah.
those things. Okay, it's encouraging, and he's going not to love you, he's going to adore you.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
And when you go into to my advice here, when you're trying to advise someone, to advise specialist students, to make sure that you're putting them in the right track, in the right place, coaching, okay, try to do this counseling, psychological counseling, all right, inside the class, between you and her or him, okay, and trying to using your face expression and your body language, uh, try to be crazy so far. The way
Yes.
that you want to be crazy, the way that is going, he's going to have a good look for you. What's
Yes.
going on? He cares. She cares about us. She loves us.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm crazy so far, but this is what I'm doing with my students. You know, you don't.
No.
I want you one day. One day, I'm going to, or just Google my name. All right, you're going to send. You're going to check a couple of videos. What kind of Egyptian students or Arab students or Middle East are you dealing with me? I'm being so crazy with them. Okay, because I want to give them their space to deliver something at the same time. I want them to be better more than me, not
Yes.
what else. It's my production. It's my production. You know, it's
Yes.
a production. Which you're providing a service with a good quality of education. At the same time, you want to see a production.
Yes. So it's like being a parent academically to the student, because we know everything about them when they are at school, and we try to make them a better version of themselves. So it's really good to hear from you that we must empathize with our students rather than act like they're supervisors, or something like that we are bigger than them. It's more about remembering the fact that we were students at some point in our lives, and that we made the same mistakes, and that we were given a second chance to grow, and that's what is making us a teacher today. So yeah, sir, I really appreciate your entire presentation, and it was really an eye-opener at some points. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. It's my job. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay.
So, Doctor, we have another question on the chat box. It says, it is from Mr. Vinith Mehta. It says that PU and PSO are having some set targets on part of any department in an institution. So my query is that depending on the intake of students at first year level, whether we can change those targets during their course of program, depending on the nature of students.
Okay. For the freshmen, for sure, not in your country, not in any country, in any culture. Freshmen, it's going to be, or the students, they're going to test you. They're going to test the way that you behave, the way that you, what kind of the curriculum you're going to use, what kind of the books they're going to use, what kind of the researching methods you're going to use, what kind of your teaching methodology. It's acceptable or not acceptable, not for you, for them. Okay. The first time, the first year, or especially the first semester for the freshmen, first year, they are going to test you. Means that you will have to create a story, a joke, an entertainment, a movie. You're going to talk about certain topics related to their behavior, what they like, what kind of the movie they like, what kind of the stories they like, what kind of things attached to them, like if we're going to talk about the girls, they're going to talk about, you're going to give kind of case studies like examples, case studies like a makeup, like a clothing, like a fashion. If we're going to talk about the or this those things for the female, for the male, okay, like boys, okay, or men, you're going to talk about cars, sports cars. You're going to talk about fashion at the same time. You're going to mention couple something. Gaming. They crazy about gaming. Sort of them. Okay, they like singing. They like to paint. They like stuff like that. Try to get, as a first time to introduce, the first time, try to introduce yourself. Try to let your feelings very, 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 very maturing and very sensitive to them. Try to deliver a message very, very motivating to them. Okay. Try to build yourself like a construction. Okay. Like I'm coming here for serving you. I'm trying to hear because I want you to be a better more than me. I'm trying to give you a kind of a quality of education. Okay. It's existable, but me and you, we're going to have a very good team. Me and you and others, we're going to be a very strong family. Okay. If you're going to start your introduction at the first time, as a first lecturing, first class, like that with your students, you're going to see a different curves every day. Okay, sometimes the reaction is going to be positive, sometimes they're going to be negative. You are, as a teacher, as a professor, as a doctor, as a instructor, you're going to help them to convert their negative to the positive, and they implement it. It's not for you as an instructor or a doctor or teacher, it's not an easy job. Okay, because you're coaching, you're monitoring them, you put them in the right track, you're trying to coach them, you're trying to do kind of keeping counseling them every day and every second and every week. Okay. All right. Tell them you have a day off, like 2 days or 1 day. Don't talk to me. I'm not talking to you one. It's my day off because I need to charge my batteries. At the same time, I want to do blah, 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 blah. Even my space, like I'm going to give you a space. All right. That's it. Sometimes you're going to be aggressive, but the way that you're going to be aggressive, try to motivate them. It's a motivation. All right. What's the next question, please?
So we have a question from Dr. Kata Subbarao. Just a minute, sir.
Okay.
Dr. Rao, you can unmute yourself.
Yes, yes. Good afternoon, madam, and good afternoon, sir. Sir, very good information here. This is very good today's session. And you shared psychological factors. So this one is danger and one is safety. So I am the professor, sir, in Telangana, on engineering college. So in the classroom itself, how to handle the slow students? Those are effect from the psychological factors. How to handle? Some are toppers and some are slow, very slow. The slow persons are suppose assume psychological factors, danger, effect from how to handle that students in the class.
Okay, okay, I got what the just tell me exactly the question again, please. I'm sorry.
Sir, sir, general student point of view in the classroom, some students are
the agenda
in the classroom.
Yes.
Generally, students are in the slow level. Yes. Some students, how to handle students?
For sure, doctor. If you're going to modify them, to organize them, and to put them in some levels, you have to do kind of placement test for them. Even this placement test, it's not important to be a written thing, but you have to, at the same time, you have to do kind of interviewing them, every student, because if you're going to put some of those, they don't know, like example, case study, they don't know how they're really aggressive, they're not interesting about something, they're forced to be in school. Okay, you have to do a selective classroom for this kind of item or this kind of level of students. Okay, but the others, yes, okay, because the placement test, it's not should be written. Okay, but there is a kind of variety that's written, because the way that you're going to interviewing or doing kind of placement test for the students face to face, to see him, to see the way he clothes, the way he's behaved, the way that he's explaining, he's reacting, he's using a couple of words like ethically or not. He's saying sir, yes ma'am, whatever. You're going to see his face expression, his eye contact, the way that he's going to use his hands, his arms. He doesn't care, he cares. Those categorized things is important for you, because you are the one you're going to customize your curriculum and how you're going to start your introduction.
Yes, sir. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir.
No
After
problem,
all,
doctor. No problem.
sir, you will send
I
this
hope to be
PPT to
useful
me.
for you.
Very good, sir.
All right. Thank you for the questions. Are there any other queries that you would like to ask them?
For me?
Sorry, sir. I'm just asking the audience to ask you if there are
Okay,
any
all right,
questions.
all right.
It's just a misplay of words. So from the participants, if there are any more questions, you could post it on the chat box or you could address it.
For me?
Yes, sir. The questions for you, they could just address it to you directly. as well.
Okay, all right, okay. You're the one who's checking that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Thank you for a lovely service, to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on for the internet today. It's really bad. Not in your country, in my country.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I believe that there are no more questions on the chat box or from the audience. I do not see any raised hands. All right. So, yes, Professor Singham, you can go ahead. I'm just unmuting you.
Interesting.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Very, very good afternoon. It is a wonderful keynote. Is my voice audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Just I wanted to know, in your country, what is the basic difference that you are noticing in the quality of the students, whether they are from the government institutions or the private institutions, as far as their learning capabilities are concerned? And what steps you are taking to keep at par with others, those who are having less IQ or whatever it is?
Okay, it's a very interesting question, right? To be honest with you, Professor,
Yeah.
when I started to show up in the Middle East after my raises was in States, okay, and by the way, I want to surprise you something. My dad, he's pure Egyptian, okay, but he lived in the States, and they bore me there over there. When I started to show up in the Middle East, especially in Egypt and Kuwait and Bahrain, stuff like that, all right, I faced hard times dealing with not with the students, with their behavior, okay, to deliver them a message or even kind of a lesson. It was a very good challenging for me. I create a routine for myself, okay, that I put the first thing they love, okay, having fun. I call it entertainment program. This entertainment, you can put the puzzling. It depends about what kind of the curriculum or what kind of your topic is, okay, and you put it as a puzzling. It's not enough to do it in the classroom. It's not enough to do it in library. It's not enough to do it even when you're going around, like you're going through the campus of the school, of the university, on the college, and having fun with them, all right, weekly, or like in the break time. You're eating with them, you're drinking with them, you're sharing their feelings. You're going to be very close to you. Okay, here I'm putting what I'm supposed to teach them, to explain to them, to analyze them, and they were given their spaces, start to write. Because I face a lot of students, they can't even write their names correctly. And was a disaster for me.
Yeah.
Believe
We
me.
notice similar things.
They don't know how to write their names even in what? And I swear. But when they start to you give them kind of potential so far, and you start to be crazy with them, like Americans, they say you have to think outside the box. No. You are going to create your own shape, circles, square rooting, stuff like that. Do what you want. Give them their space. They're going to respect you. They're going to love you. They're going to adore you. It's a very simple step, but how you're going to do it, it's your characteristic, not me.
Just one simple observation, what I could notice based on I'm a professor over 15 years
Wow.
in National Institute of Technology, Rourkela, and also a scientist in very premier research institutes in India, CSIR labs and ministry mines. Also with industry experience as assistant manager in 1980s. So my next following question is, especially why I asked about the private colleges is there are some students who are just forced by their parents, although they are not deserving, to enter into that college or into that course. And have you noticed any dropouts? And have you tried to find out through counseling? I am coming to a very important point, which is missing in our education internationally, in some countries, or I can say generally, where we teachers are not just to teach, but we should know how to counsel the students in which he is interested or in which he can excel, in which he is not fit for it. So that initially, if you can notice, then we can guide them properly. They can leave that course. For example, if somebody joins an engineering course, I'm giving a simple example, and he is unable to perform in spite of the best efforts from the parents, from the institution, from the available best possible systems of education, then what, in my opinion, we should allow them to leave the course instead of just continuing with it with a burden, and which may not be useful for any country or the international. And this was just, I wanted to know whether we can or we should take such a decision after proper counseling that this student is not fit for this course, this department, or this type of thing. Initially, if it is noticed, we can guide them properly. He can excel in something else. Like our Sachin Tendulkar, he can be a best cricketer instead of a best engineer. I hope you agree with me.
Yeah, I agree with you, but for this issue or this kind of students, especially their parents, they're forcing them, even negativity or positivity, they have to do a counseling program, for the parents, not for the students, because automatically the students, they're going through their teachers, their professors, their doctors, and if they give him their spaces, he's not going to go back home to see their parents. They want to stay with the teacher because he's enjoying and he's giving space. But to force the student that he's supposed to take this subject, going this college, and he doesn't want to go to this college, or he's supposed to take this subject and he's going to pass it to get a grade A plus, stuff like that, as a forcing. No, it's not a compatible, and I don't believe in this thing. Even with the parents, the parents should be modified, and they have to get counseling as soon as they can, and should be the government putting this service to the schools or even to universities. Because if I'm a doctor or a professor or a teacher, instructor, feeling a couple of negative vibe with my students, and I made sure this reasoning related to his parents, I have to contact with the dean contact with the certain counseling and the government to deal with this kind of parents, because they are destroying their futures, to be honest with you.
And that's right.
Can I contribute a little to this discussion, sir?
Yes, madam.
Certainly.
Fine.
Certainly.
Of course, we may be having all the email address and contacts. We can discuss later also. Now we can
No
continue
problem.
with our
Anytime.
program,
Anytime,
madam.
Professor.
Yes, so this is a little bit of contribution. Like you said, it is very important for the students to know what curriculum they are expecting and what they are supposed to become after, I mean, once their graduation is over, right? So maybe we can do a little bit of orientation sessions for from each department, where the student can come into the department, listen to it, and then later on be able to select that. You know, during the summer break, when the teachers are still at college, they can actually put up these little orientation sessions, something like when you're in a market or something, you go to every shop, you listen to what they are trying to sell, and then you pick up the best produce, and that's most suitable to you. So maybe we can do something like that. We can organize a little bit of orientation sessions that tell about the course, that give them basic idea, because most Indian parents, they do not have any idea about what the course is about or what their children will become in the future once they finish the course. So
that's my honor.
Yeah.
Right, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank
No
you,
problem, Professor. It's my honor
Namaste.
to be honest with you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, it's a wonderful discussion. Are there any more questions from the participants to ask to Dr. Ewees?
Well, for me, I don't have any kind of, but I hope to see you soon again, like the previous conference, because you are the one. You are the. For me, it's something that really surprised me.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I believe there are no more questions. Then we can go ahead in concluding the session. So to conclude, so I believe we started on a delayed note, but you know, any good event, any virtual event has its own challenges and hurdles, and that is what Dr. Mostafa had faced today. But he was able to overcome that. So I think that's a very good message we could take forward with apart from his imparted knowledge that he has given us. Now, let me say thank you to Dr. Mostafa Khaireldin and Ewees for the wonderful session. I believe this first session of the FTP has been informative for everyone involved. And the next session, the outcome-based education towards our better environment, is by Professor Wafiq Nazir, a member of the World Congress for Environment Egypt. It's going to start sharply at 3:30, hopefully without any delays. And on behalf of IFERP, I would like to thank all the participants, the delegates who have joined us today. Without your support, the session would not have been possible. I would like to once again extend my warm gratitude on behalf of IFERP to our esteemed speaker, Dr. Mostafa Ewees, for delivering the keynote address. As usual, sir, it's been an honor listening to you. Now, I'm going to paste out some of the links that we would like you to just go through and see about our further conferences that are there. I'm just pasting it in the chat box for everyone to see. You'd find a lot more information about these conferences from the link that I've pasted in the chat box.
Interesting.
All right, you can check out furthermore information about the conferences in the links I put up in the chat box. Please go through it in a very detailed manner. It would be very, very useful for you, and we really look forward to your participation in these conferences. Now, on that note, I would like to sign off for this session. Once again, I hope to see all of you for our further FTP sessions we have towards the week. And so I'm Juveria once again. Thank you for joining us and IFERP. And thank you once again to Dr. Mostafa for joining us despite all the challenges you had, sir. And so thank you to all the participants and delegates once again. With that note, we are signing off for this session. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Have a great day. Thank you very much. Bye.